All righty, what is going on, ladies and gents? Welcome back to the channel for another market update. Hope everybody had a lovely day. And with that being said, let's dive into the TA. All right, guys, so we got pretty close to all-time highs this morning on QQQ. Because of this, I'm going to say I think this dip is going to be short-lived before we make it up to new highs. We do have a government shutdown looming, all right, tomorrow. Guess what? All right, tomorrow at midnight, the government, it gets to shut down, okay? Then we get to see if they reach an agreement here. And we, continue kicking the can down the road like we always do. Newsflash, we're definitely going to be kicking the can down the road like we always do. It's what happens every single time. So just realize that these fears that are going to pop up over it, yeah, they're going to go away shortly after. And the market probably is just going to return, doing whatever it wants to do. All right. I personally don't think the government shutdown is what gives this market a big correction. I don't know. It might be war related. I don't want to say it, but it might be. Okay. So this morning, guys, they're loading VIX calls 1119 32C for, over $12.5 million right there. Okay. Well, over $12 million right there, 12.2. Let's be real about this. This thing has been dormant for a while. This is probably not going to come in for no reason here. Someone probably does know something if they're, putting on sides like this. I doubt it's just a hedge. Maybe it's a hedge, and I'm going to see it taken off tomorrow once they reach an agreement for this whole government shutdown thing. We'll see. Okay, we'll see. I don't think so. All right, you come over to LMT, guys, and we also had these coming in this morning. I know the stock is over here at a, big breakout level, but at the same time, all right. This coming in on the same day that we're getting those VIX calls coming in. I think, there are people behind the scenes that probably know something that we don't. Recently they had that big meeting with all the government, all the military officials there. Okay. They didn't tell the public what the meeting was about. All right. Even without that, we have LMT calls coming up the butt here, and you have VIX calls coming up the butt here. Yeah, it's probably going to amount to something. So I personally don't think it is going to be the government shutdown that gives us a larger sell. I don't. I think if there is a larger correction around the corner here, I think it is going to come from this surprise catalyst I speak of here, and it's not going to be that government shutdown, okay? But that happens tomorrow at midnight going into Wednesday. So just realize there might be that fear there, that panic over the government shutdown. But every single other time in history, they have not let it happen, and they have, they have pushed the can down the road and increased the spending, okay? That is what has continuously happened throughout time over here over the past few years. It's very likely going to keep happening. Maybe Trump wants to, have another manufactured crash over here, and he wants to hold it out for like a week or so. I highly doubt that's going to be the case. All right, but that is also on the table. I'm just putting two and two together here. QQQ got this close up to all-time highs. If we pull back tomorrow off of that, I feel like it's just going to, it's my opinion on, this is how things are shaping up ahead of time, just with all the information I'm being given. We got really close to all-time highs. I know when you get that close to something, price, it pulls back, it's going to get bought. It's the same thing over here that happened in the video, okay? You got up here, guess what? The dip got bought. And guess what? You got up here again, the dip is also going to get bought. This is very clearly going to be breaking to the upside. It's not like what you had over here. It's not at all. It's not even like what you had over here. It's beautiful. It's a beast of its own, okay? I doubt the market's going to go through a massive corrective period if this is breaking out. So I just want to also say that I'm a bit confused on, what price action is going to be given us, because we have a lot of things suggesting different things here. But at the end of the day, you get a larger correction. Small caps, big entry point over there. DIA, revert back to the mean over there. SPY QQQ, revert back to the mean. The 9 EMA, we talked about it, okay? We talked about how we thought we would get this, bounce to start off the week and then it would be sold. I'm telling you right now, I don't know if it's going to be sold all that quick here before we get up to new highs. I feel like they're going to give you new highs, and then we get that surprise catalyst around the corner, and that ends up giving the VIX a big old pop, and this a big old dump, as well as, most other tickers there. If the tide is going down, boats are going to go down, okay? That's just how that's going to go. But yeah, guys, you got pretty close to all-time highs today. I doubt they're, really gonna, bring you down here, take out this low before taking out that high. So that's just my opinion. I could be completely wrong about it. I can. Okay. I've been wrong in the past. I can be wrong here. I can. But yeah, we have that look on the video. We have that look on the Qs over there. Honestly, Amazon's not looking all that bad. You come over here to the MAGS ETF, it has the same exact look over there where, yeah, it looks like worst case scenario, you might build out a range here and then just break up later on. But with those VIX calls coming in, I have a feeling they're going to give us new highs sooner rather than later, because that, that VIX spike and that dump on the market, it can come, I think. I don't think it's going to take too long here. So yeah, it can come in the short term. So I personally think it makes the most sense to push up from here. I do. That's just my opinion. Could be wrong. Because we have this uncertain market, this video is going to be a short one. I got some trade ideas at the end of the video, some things that I think are going to be moving, some things that were looking nice today. But yeah, as far as the indices go, guys, we have to wait and see what happens here. I have no idea what Donald Trump is going to, try and do with this whole thing. Last time this happened, Trump was not in office. Okay. We all know Trump did this crap. Okay. Technically speaking, this, every ticker you really looked at, yeah, we were right there. Okay. Like, if he didn't do his thing over here, guess what? That probably wouldn't have happened. So I don't know. He's a wild card. Okay. But I'm telling you how, this has gone in the past, these government shutdowns. Nope. Once the fear is gone and they reach an agreement, they reach their deal. Guess what? All right. Market starts just behaving like normal again. And all of a sudden, the fear that everyone was talking about, it's completely gone out of nowhere one day. So just realize it's very likely going to be the case here as well. On the downside, 596.30, 591.06, 587.86. Take that out. 583.32 on the upside, 599.90, 602.87, 605. That's QQQ. Coming over here to SPY on the upside, we have 665.28, 667.34, 670. On the downside, 662.37. All right, we filled that gap. Friday's high, 660.27, 656.90. You take that out. All right, we risk taking out 654.30, and we are probably going to revisit 649.48. Okay, and that's what we got there. But I'm really not going to say it looks all that bad here. They did end up, buying that dip. We filled the gap. They bought the dip. They gave you a nice lower wick there. All right, if we look back, it's not uncommon to see things grind higher. It's not. Just because you have a red day doesn't mean you're going to fall off a cliff here. I also I failed to mention one, key ingredient here. Both of these got over their 0.786 fibs today, both of them, all right, which tells us that 100% retracement is likely. The fact that the 100% retracement hasn't happened yet tells us this dip is likely going to be short-lived before that move happens. I just think it makes a lot more sense to continue up here in the short term, have everybody online, all over Twitter, guys, all over X. Everyone's bearish. I don't know what else to say about it. Everyone's bearish. I highly doubt they're going to dump the market when everyone is bearish. I just don't think it's going to be the case. I don't. All right. I think they're going to give you one last hurrah over here. The catalyst that everybody's thinking is not going to be the actual catalyst that gives us any sort of, big correction. And then everyone's like, oh, it's all fine and dandy. All the fear is gone. And then bang. All right. There's going to be a surprise catalyst. We see those VIX calls, that I just pointed out. That guy prints. Okay. I don't know if it's going to be the war catalyst, but again, just using context clues here. That is something that I think could be right around the corner. And yeah, we'll see how it goes. We will see. Okay. All right. DIA, guys, doesn't look all that bad. All right. IWM also doesn't look all that bad. I'm not going to say these things are really telling us much. VIX over here, guys. Yes, we got the calls coming in today. But yeah, you gapped up on the session over here, even though, SPY was green. All right. You see how VIX just kind of held here. VIX goes up when SPX puts are bought and calls are sold. It goes down when calls are bought and puts are sold. It's up, while SPY and QQQ are also green on the day. What does that tell you? They were loading puts behind the scenes and selling calls, okay? Net bearish. That is all that tells you. That's the only thing it tells you, okay? But you do now have, I think it's an 85% chance over the next two sessions it's either 80 or 85% the stat goes, that you have a down day on the S&P 500. So if we happen to push up tomorrow, take out this high, maybe we have a down day right around the corner. All right. So those are the indices, guys. We're going to quickly go over the Mag 7 stocks. Mags ETF, it looks like it wants to just kind of consolidate here. I'm not going to lie. Okay. It looks like we're probably just going to get a range and then push up. Amazon over here, and it doesn't have to be the case. If we take out the 21 EMA over here, at that point, maybe we do pull into the 9 EMA. But it's on the weekly time frame. It's just like what I was saying on SPY and QQ, guys. All right. And the weekly update, we were looking for the dip. We were looking for this bounce to start off the week and then to get sold later into the week. I don't know if that's going to be the case. They took you past this 0.786 fibs. Typically, when I see that, we start making our way back to the 100% retracement. Doesn't have to go in a straight line, but if you dip before you make that move and you get over the 0.786, then typically that dip is short-lived, and yeah, we will get over there. And the same goes for, downside. That's just how the rule of the golden pocket works. That's how I use it. All right, so there's that. Okay, but Amazon over here, guys, weekly 21 EMA, just like right over here. I'm not sure if they're going to send you down underneath here and give you another point of divergence, but over here on, this Monday over here, you did end up sweeping the previous week's low, putting that divergence, and then you had a pretty sick, nasty move come over the next few sessions. Okay, that is a 15-point pop. We are not up 15 points, guys. That would be the equivalent of us going another 9 points to the upside here over the next 2 sessions. I'm not saying that's going to be the case, all right, but that's what happened last time. There you go. But yeah, bounce off that 0.786 fib, bounce off the golden pocket there. All right, you're right on the weekly 21 EMA, 4-hour RSI has a bullish divergence going on. This doesn't look all that bad, and we're just putting our clues together here. And yeah, it doesn't look all that bad to me. So there's that. At the end of the day, we do know this is just a range. It can go something like that, all right? But it's a range consolidation before they break you out to new all-time highs. But in the short term, that's how things are shaping up, guys. Above 220.83, 226.22 is on the table. That's where you broke down from. All right, Meta over here, guys. We did have Meta calls coming through today, all right, with a decent chunk of size. I will just say I still... Yeah, this guy's gonna move with the market, honestly. Just wait for it to work itself out here, okay? We're not gonna say anything new about Meta. We're not gonna say anything new about Google. Apple, guys, getting ready for the break to all-time highs. Held up very well today. Okay, so even though things sold, Apple really didn't sell all that much. Okay, it really did not. And I know SPY and QQ are green, but at the lows there, things look pretty ugly. This guy just didn't look ugly at all. Okay, I still think the move to all-time highs over here is loading in the short term on Apple. All right, Microsoft started catching a bid today, guys. We mentioned, coming into the week, guys, last week, end of the week, we did have puts with size being sold over down here at the lows. Actually pointing out, I think it was on Thursday, those ended up coming through. But yeah, guys, still same game plan, break above 519.30, 520, brings you to 530. That's just about it. Tesla over here, guys, all right? The little trickster, The little trickster gets another breakout, and then, it's another false breakout. There you go, worst case scenario, consolidate for another week, then push up to all-time highs. Yes, I called it. That's my call, and that's that, okay? That's your worst case scenario. I think a massive move over here is on Tesla's loading, and I think it could take a few months to play out. All right, but I think this thing is going way high into the sky, and I think, 1 to 2 weeks after we break 488.54, I'm not going to be surprised if we push 550. That's all I'm saying. But this is now 2 weeks of consolidation over here. Either this is going to probably bring you down into this area, 433, and then we'll see if you come back down to the low of the range. Over here, when you had this going on, you had pretty violent swings in this range. So we're going to see what happens. If it's going to be just like over there, then price is going to continue compressing this week, and we're not going to make it to the low of the range. We're going to make it down to that middle area, the 9 EMA right there, and then we would push back up. All right, I'm not saying it's going to go exactly how it did last time, but if it is, that's how it goes. Okay, you filled your gap today. You have this doji candlestick. I don't necessarily like, this 4-hour candle that we printed over there. If you just look back, vast majority of the time, you do consolidate or pull back off of these things. Okay, it does not lead to immediate upside. Okay, it just does not. You went up, guess what? Consolidation for 2 sessions after you printed something like that. Oh, guess what? Consolidation. Okay. And then you started advancing after 1, 2, 3. On the 4th session, you started going. Okay. So I'm just saying, I don't know about the short-term price action over here on Tesla, but end game, this thing's going up to new all-time highs, guys, next month. I like the 1121 500C. Okay. I like the 1017 500C on this dip, but I think we get a better price on it tomorrow. We'll see if we get it. We'll see. The other scenario here is you pop right back up over 450.98, and you do start this move right away at the 465.16. Okay. And from that point, you're probably pushing straight up to all-time highs, 488.54. Then you have this sitch over here by the next week. All right. Oh, bang. You go 70 points above there. I'm not saying that's going to be the case, but that does bring you up to 560. Okay. Right about there, 70 points. Okay. So that's Tesla, guys. Big move is loading. And I'm going to say, let's take the time as a community here and let's watch this video. This is for all the investors out there. Okay. I know we talk options, we talk short-term trading on this channel, but this is a big opportunity over the coming years. This is a big opportunity, I think, over the coming months. And I think, yes, all right, it is worth taking advantage of. And I'm not just talking about on options, okay? This is something that's probably going to be a big move. Let's watch it together, okay? We're going to put this on 2x speed. This is Elon's pay package that he's proposing. They vote on it November 2nd. We have a whole month in between now and then. Okay, but this is something over here. You guys can't even see the whole screen. Hang on, I'm coming over here. Now you guys can see it. Oh, look at that. Shut down. All right, you guys see what I'm seeing? You guys see $8.5 trillion? Guys, they're trying to pump the stock right when the thing's technically about to explode. I'm just saying this is a recipe for this thing does explode next 2 months. Okay. Watch this because it's important, I think. You see that? These are all of his little packages there. He gets more voting rights and he unlocks more of his package as we go, as the market cap moves trillions of dollars. He is pumping the shit out of the stock. Let's just read this together. We pay for outstanding performance, not promises. In 2018, shareholders approved the groundbreaking CEO Performance Award that delivered extraordinary value. At our annual meeting in November 6th, Tesla shareholders can vote on a pay-for-performance plan designed to drive our next era of transformational growth and value creation. 7 years ago, Elon Musk had to deliver billions to shareholders. Now it's trillions. What? Why are they posting this? They're posting this before this thing rockets to new all-time highs. I am just saying, guys, they know what's coming. They do. And they are genuinely telling people, guys, invest in our company. Okay. And I don't know if you guys saw it, but right at the end there, where was it? Where was it? All right. Somewhere in here, they literally point out that it's 2x Nvidia. Okay. That's pretty insane. Okay. 2x Nvidia. They're like just blatantly like telling people, hey guys, invest in our company. This is the pay package, which by the way, makes perfect sense. He doesn't get any benefits until stock price goes up to a $2 trillion market cap. Let's be real about it. Okay. Current market cap, 1.5 trill. Okay. That is this going another 30% from current price. 580. I think 580 might come next month. So, you know, whether you're trading options, okay, whether you're trading shares, whether you want to load the absolute boat on a dip over here if you see it, okay, and just go along for the ride, I think this thing is about to make its next leg up. And if you just look at the chart, the monthly chart here, okay, even if it's not one of these guys, it's still probably going to be one of these guys, okay? And we still probably catch that move. That move to 580 I just talked about, it's still, you know, that's your minimum target here. we're looking for much higher prices, okay? But in the short term, once you break 488.54, I do think 550 plus is incoming, and that move can pay. Okay, I know I've been talking. I still stand by what I've been saying. Okay, option premiums over here are kind of crazy, and the way the stock's been trading, this confirmed it. Okay, I jumped back into the thing today, and the thing genuinely is continuing to do the thing that I was saying wasn't worth trading through. It wasn't. All right, and it still isn't. I'm just going to tell you, buy time if you're going to trade options on this name. Go for the ride. But if this thing actually starts going here and it does break above 451. I do think it's going to start going vertical again, and I do think we're probably going to get a few days of that. And at that point, it doesn't matter what expiration you have, okay? But if you just want to, just take a chill pill, know you're going along for the ride. This thing's going up to all-time highs. We know what's going to happen next 1 to 2 months, very likely next month, all right? Buy your time on your contracts, sit in them, and wait, okay? Or sit in shares. You can trade TSLL as well, all right? So that's Tesla, guys. I just wanted to take the time to really talk about that and really hammer this one home. It looks like that breakout is right around the corner here. And the fact that they're putting that out, it kind of just changes everything, okay? I'm going to be completely honest. We already knew it was coming together over here. We already knew it. But now the company itself is just kind of telling, hey, guys, all right, this is going to be a 2 times Nvidia's market cap company. It's in that video. I couldn't find it on the spot for you guys. It is in that video. That's kind of crazy, okay? That they are blatantly coming out here saying, guys, invest in this company. We're about to put out a pay package here. You're going to get the vote on it. And if it gets approved, stock price is probably going to skyrocket over here. The $2 trillion mark was the that was the first threshold. It keeps going up to $8.5 trillion. It's going to take a long ass time. All right. Years and years and years, maybe even 10 years, maybe, I don't know. Okay, but I'm telling you, they're telling people to buy their stock. That's all I see. That's all I heard from that. That's maybe all you heard from it. I think that's anybody who watched that damn video, that's all they're going to hear from it. And it's a recipe for this thing exploding, okay? That's Tesla. Nvidia, we already talked about it, guys. We got a rounded bottom out. We have an inverse head and shoulders pattern, okay? If you can't see it clearly, I got you. Left shoulder, head. This whole thing is your right shoulder, okay? Or this is your right shoulder. Whatever you want to, look at. This whole thing is your right, whatever, okay? Either way, thing is about to be breaking up the highs. I don't know if you're going to consolidate over here around the 9 EMA again before you do that. But if I had to take a guess, they're going to send this thing above 184.48 this week, which is why, like, another factor here suggesting to me the most probable scenario is they pop this thing in the short term, okay, this week. And then we get that bearish catalyst that gives everyone the correction they clearly see on the charts later on. Okay, I know I sound crazy. I was looking, for this bounce. I was saying the most probable scenario in the weekly update was this bounce consult. Guess what? Information changes, and that's that. All right. Either way, Nvidia, it doesn't matter what the market does. This is getting ready for a massive move over here. And I'm telling you, the market's sleeping on Nvidia, and you're going to get a ripper of a freaking move, and you're probably going straight to $200. The break above 184.48 brings you straight to 190, and maybe we get 200 plus that same week. If not that week, probably next week. That's Nvidia. Those are the Mag 7 stocks, guys. Now I got some trade ideas for you, some things that are shaping up. We actually been talking about a few of these over the past few videos. Hive being one of them. We were talking about it ever since this day right over here. Pulled back to the 21 EMA, just like it did over there. And you're starting to pop off. I'm not saying it's going to go like these other ones, but if this thing does end up breaking above this high, it probably is going to get another, at least 15% move. You can either trade that or you can get the early entry here. All right. Right around the 21. And maybe it consolidates for the next few sessions. If you start seeing this action here, we see a few green candles just go straight up to these highs. Okay. Maybe even just one green candle just go straight up to the high. At that point, this thing is about to have that next trending move here, and we can go along for the ride. There you go. Number 2, we talked about the other day, Riot. All right, which I didn't think it was. It did not pull back like we thought. Okay, so we talked about it. We didn't say the thing was going to explode here, so don't get too ahead of yourself. But this thing, it looks like it's going to explode. That's all I really could say about this one. Look at the monthly chart. This is reminding me of Iron. All right, it's another one of these massive, like higher time frame just bases that are set up here. That yeah, it's just destined to lead to a big move. Now, this is a $7 billion market cap. So it's in a bit different of a, you know, situation there. But at the same time, just look at the chart. It speaks for itself. I don't really have to say anything much about this. I really don't. You know, big breakout here. Whether that breakout was over here or that you're playing the breakout above 2065. Yeah, this is massive. And yeah, it's probably going to take out last week's high there. And we're probably going to push 2065 in the short term. Either way, keep right on watch, guys. When we see dips or consolidations on this name, it is going to be providing an opportunity over the coming weeks and months. That's right. RKT, I think it's shaping up for another leg up. We'll see about it. We will see. But yeah, you know, put it on your radar over here. Reverted back to the mean, pulled back to moving averages, and now it's starting to shape up again. We'll see if we get another leg up right around the corner, okay? All right. Oscar. I like Oscar. It just started breaking out today. It did pull back, you know, decently from the highs there. But this is something that is probably going to be making it back up over here within 1 to 2 weeks. And I assume that's going to bring a larger move. This is a massive base over here that I think has a breakout right around the corner. And I think now it's time to pay attention to it. So put it on your radar. But yeah, pennant breakout today. Increasing volume. Probably going to have another update tomorrow if I had to take a guess. We'll see what happens. But if we do, and it takes out 1977, there is the chance this thing just gets moving and grooving straight up to 2077. And at that point, you do have your breakout, like a big breakout on your hands, okay? You got the pennant breakout down here, new high breakout up there. AMD, it's consolidating a little range over here. You see how the cloud is about to flip green over here. There's moving averages, they're about to cross. This thing is compressing here around the short-term moving averages, and it's probably going to be expanding in the short term. You had increasing volume on the day with a small bodied candlestick. Above 164.53, we're talking 170.99. Above there, I think you head up to 187.28. That's your next level up here, okay? If you just take a step back, this price action makes perfect sense. People kept asking me why I wasn't talking about AMD when we're sitting here consolidating in the golden pocket. Well, the setup wasn't there. Now it's reverted back to the mean. Now it has a wedge breakout. Now it's ranging out. It's compressing its butt off. It's probably about to start snapping back. Keep it on your radar. That's AMD. Run over here, guys. It looks like it's getting ready for this move. All right. This is a Twitter name I keep seeing pop up over the last week or so. This looks like it is about to break above 1832 and might have that next leg up starting. And if it's going to move like how it did the last time there, yeah, it's going to probably go for quite a ride here. We're talking like a 20% week. And if you get a 20% week, that's taking you all the way up to 21.5 right away. All right. But I do like how the monthly and weekly charts are setting up here. I think a larger move over here is loading. And the daily suggests that it is probably right around the corner. Maybe we consolidate a few more sessions here. But yeah, we're watching 1832. JD started pushing up today. Got a little gapper going here. Weekly chart doesn't look all that bad. If you do take out 3606, I think 3784 is imminent. I think that move's probably going to happen pretty quick. Increasing volume on the day. Doesn't look bad over here. Pulled back to the 21 EMA. Has just been consolidating for, 2 weeks now. All right, from right over there to there, just about 2 weeks. Yeah, all right. Watch for the breakout in the short term. Looks pretty juicy over here. 4-hour, daily, and weekly. Bull. All right. I call reverse bullshit. I call this thing might be about to rip faces. I call this thing might consolidate for a few sessions and then rip faces. I'm not sure, but keep it on your radar over here. Let's see if we can catch this move to 1885 and then 20 plus. I think this is probably going to have a good week. All right. Above 1564, you have nothing until 1708 and then 1885. That is bull. But fresh breakout today above that trend line. And yeah, it's looking juicy. PLTR, guys, continues to be what I like to call a no-brainer over here. I know it's taking its time. It will consolidate. This stock constantly consolidates before pushing up. Look, you consolidate for a week, push up new highs. Consolidate for a week, push up. Consolidate, push up. Consolidate for 3 weeks, push up. Consolidate for 1 week, push up. Consolidation is normal, guys. It happens in the stock market. We're going to say 70% of the time. All right. Stocks are not always trending. You see how it took 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 range bound days before you had 2 days of upside. Okay. That's where you get that 70% from. Okay. This is very likely just putting in a range here before it has this next little pop, just like it did over here, just like it did over here, just like it did over here. Okay. And over here, all of them, they all had the same result. Now I'm just going to say, since this whole run started, if you got that close to all-time highs the following week, you're pushing it. All right. I can't really point to too many examples, but look at over here. Okay. You got that close the next week, you started pushing up the highs. Okay. Over here. All right. You did end up pulling back for 2 weeks, but then you had this impulsive move and you shot up to new highs. I don't think we look like this. I think this thing is just in consolidation, just like I was just saying, just another one of those ranges being built out here before that eventual leg up. Buy some time, take a step back, and this thing's going to be at all-time highs. Probably this week, but the market's going to have to cooperate for that. So we're going to have to get my personal ideal scenario I pitched you guys at the beginning of the video, what I think makes sense. And I do think the correction, like I'd stand by it. I don't think it's going to be off this government shutdown. Everybody knows about the government shutdown. Everybody on Twitter is bearish. They were so bearish over the weekend. You know, no wonder the market shot up, you know, almost the highs right away. But like, let's be real about it. Is the market just going to pay everybody out on something that everybody can clearly see? Maybe, but like, I've been in this market a decent amount of time. You guys, you know, maybe some of you guys have been in the market and seen this exact catalyst come around before. And yeah, I'm pretty positive, you know, all the fear is just it's just gonna evaporate, and then market's gonna behave how it wants, and catalyst is gonna be a nothing burger. So there's that. Roblox gapped up above 140. We're paying attention to 139.97. I personally didn't want this to shoot right up like that, but you know, at the end of the day, this kind of looks beautiful. It probably is going to push straight up the highs, but if it does give you the pullback into 135, 137, it's likely going to be bought. And then, yeah, you wait for this breakout. If it goes something like this, second you break out over here, you know it's likely going there, okay? Above 139.97, actually above today's high now, above today's high at 142. Yeah, there's absolutely nothing until 150.59 all-time highs. Now, I'm pointing this out in the weekly update. This is a massive, you know, IPO-based breakout that's about to be taking place in the monthly time frame. This thing is already a massive market cap, so it's already as large as Hood. Well, not after today's move. Hood is definitely taking the cake there. $120 billion market cap as of today. Big move over here on Hood. All right. I wish I listened to myself. I said this was the no-brainer stock over here. On this pullback, when it was happening, it was the no-brainer. But it also looked really funky, and I didn't trust it. So I didn't take it. Hopefully some of you guys did end up taking that pullback. Maybe you took that pullback off the 9 because it exploded today. It exploded. It was a crazy move. Okay. I don't think people should be chasing this. I think it's probably going to continue having these pullbacks after these impulsive moves, and that's going to continue providing your opportunities there. If you get a sharper pullback, 1 to 2 sessions, pull back close to the 9 over here, maybe we get 128 to 130. It's probably going to be bought in the short term up to new highs. But, you know, sick move over there on Hood, guys. Sick move. But Roblox, all right, it reminds me of Hood and Palantir. And Palantir, I'm not saying Roblox is anything like these companies. I am just saying the chart looks extremely similar. And I think it has potential over here to get a big boy move going through 150.59. And maybe we shoot up to, like, we're talking 160, 170 real quick. But either way, that's Roblox. I'm looking for a move in the short term there. Oklo, I don't know exactly how it's going to shape up, but I will remind everyone, every time the stock is broken out to new highs, you retrace the move and then you move up. You revert back to the mean and then you move up to new high. Over here, you broke out, okay? Right here, it took, you know, a decent amount of time, but at the end of the day, you pull back to 21, you consolidate for 2 to 3 weeks, it looks like, and then you push up to new highs. So if you miss this move, just realize, I don't know exactly how it's going to go. Maybe it shoots up, maybe it goes like this and then shoots up. Really not sure, but there's very likely going to be another move back to new highs that you can catch. Just got to be patient for it to present itself, okay? But that's Oklo. HIMS, all right? The fact that Oscar is setting up like this makes me more bullish on HIMS. I'm just saying. I think that the theme itself might want to go. I think we genuinely might see healthcare stocks start actually taking off. HIMS looks explosive, guys. It does. I'm not saying right now. It's probably going to pull back into this lower wick. I think it will, and I think that's a much better entry than someone trying to buy the top up here. I do. You swept this high over here. Ideally, we are going to see this pull back into at least the 9 EMA, which is currently sitting at about 56 bucks. All right, so better entry is probably right around the corner over here. So don't get the FOMO from me saying this. The move will present itself. It's not going to go straight up all at once. Okay, once it starts going, you're probably going to have weeks of that move. That's how these trending moves happen. We haven't gotten a trending move in months. All right, in months, 3 to 4 months, we have not seen a trending move out of HIMS. It is likely going to start right around the corner. Not saying this week, but the entry can be taken this week. That is HIMS. We're looking for this big breakout. It looks beautiful on the monthly time frame. Breakout next month to new all-time highs. I'm calling it. You heard it here first. Maybe not, but you heard it here, and that's all that matters. CRWV, guys. I'm still just going to say nothing really changed over here. You're consolidating above the 21 EMA. Ideally, we are going to get above 129.38, and that's just going to make this thing move right back up to the highs. It's going to mark that next move. But I don't know if they're going to do that. I don't know. You can take out the 21 EMA, and you can visit 105 to 115 here. I'm really not sure. But yeah, still clear as day over here. Nothing has changed. Okay, we're still expecting a big pop over here. And yeah, that's that. And, speaking of flow, guys, Tesla I'm telling you, just the most bullish stock today. I don't care what the price action was telling you, okay? Like, flow just continues coming in, and they keep loading these 11/21/500s. They're loading a bunch of other strikes as well, but, they're continuing to just slam that. And, yeah, I don't care what it does in the short term here. The thing's going to all-time highs here. It's going to happen next month. With a monthly candle like this, it's going to happen next month. If it doesn't happen next month, then it doesn't happen for months. Okay? And that's very likely not going to be the case. But, this is just like this. Either way. All right. That's what I got for you guys today. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. I really do. And one last thing over here, I just want to point out, Ethereum stocks are starting to get some nice flow coming back into them. 1031.20C, guys. Current price, 17 bucks. All right, it looks like this thing's basing out, and if it does give it a pop over this level, 1867, I'd imagine this thing starts getting up into this area, and yeah, that's like 21 and 23 bucks. All right, that's where you broke down from over here. It's probably where you would find some resistance. Okay, and then the other name, you also have some good flow coming in over the past few sessions over here. Okay, these are far out the money. This is that's like 40 to 45% out the money. Price is all the way down here. Someone thinks this thing is about to start turning around. We could start paying attention to it, okay? Ethereum was retesting where it broke out from. It's not looking all that bad so far. I'm not going to say it's, the best, okay? It doesn't tell us like short-term price actions like it's about to go, all right? But I think that is why we're seeing the flow come into those stocks over there. And yeah, I think a move on Ethereum might be right around the corner, okay? Other than that, guys, INTC, I'm looking for this dip to be bought. I would like some consolidation over here. Maybe we do return down to 32, 38. Probably not, though. Probably just going to have some sideways action, some, range action build out before that next leg. But I'm also watching that one, okay? I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. No, it was not a short one. It was a 38-minute video. It is okay. It is okay. All right. Either way, I hope you guys enjoyed it. Please remember to leave a like on the video. I greatly would appreciate it. It helps me boost this channel, pump this channel out to new people, and then we can grow our corner of YouTube over here. And eventually, it's going to be a whole house of YouTube. Okay, not just a little closet. All right, guys. But yeah, that's what I got for you today. If you want to come trade with me, I'm live every day. That link is down below. And other than that, guys, I hope you guys have a lovely rest of your day, and I will catch you all tomorrow. Again, government shutdown news might not be as big of a deal as people online are making it out to be. I tend to think the market is not going to do what the masses are thinking right now, and I think we are going to get a surprise catalyst around the corner that tanks things. But I don't think it's going to be a government shutdown, because that's no surprise. And that also happens tomorrow. All right. Or the fear is going to build tomorrow and it happens into Wednesday. Who knows with Trump? Who freaking knows? But I'll tell you, yeah, just, just remember what happened in the past. They always come to a deal. It has to come to a deal. The US will be no more if they don't come to a deal. Why the heck would they risk that? Be real about it. But again, it's Trump. So we're going to see about it. But it's probably not going to be anything, and it'll be a nothing burger. With that being said, guys, hope you all have a lovely rest of your day, and peace.